At the moment, it's technically not a big challenge for us. We can handle it. And the interesting thing is we could actually invite people. We were thinking about the idea inviting people to watch videos with us. That instead of doing classic reaction videos, we just invite people and then we start talking about it. Are we live already?
Yes.
Oh.
Tac.
Okay, I think it started. Okay, so yes, here we go. So welcome everyone to our first ever live chat show, basically here with our three judges. We have Andy Lewis from the US, just about to step onto a helicopter.
What up, boys? Yeah, legends in the making.
Then, of course, we have Jaan Roose here, Mr. Madonna's best friend, and our fresh new Red Bull Slack Warrior manager. Amazing event you organized there. We were all totally flabbergasted. And if this doesn't become a global phenomenon, I don't understand things anymore then. And last but not least, the legend himself, Mr. World of Tomorrow.
Is he still alive?
Hasta la victoria siempre.
Oh my goodness.
Probably the guy who is doing nothing at all anymore in slacklining, but still has the biggest YouTube channel in the world when it comes to slacklining. So yeah, we've invited all of you guys to join this talk because we did the Unreal tournament for the first time, a video contest, and we deliberately decided to create a system which is basically based on subjective judging, because we knew once we start putting the element of film into the whole story, it would have been impossible to put like an objective judging system behind the whole thing. So I've got Axel here. My name is Robert Kerding. I'm CEO of Gibbon Slacklines. Axel here is going to be our moderator and host of this show. So I will hand over the word to him so he can basically lead us so that we don't use up too much time, because Andy has to go onto a helicopter.
I can still Bluetooth from the helicopter, my friend.
Yeah, so let's see how it goes. Now, so let's start with a quick introduction on why you have organized this contest, and especially why we have chosen to broadcast everything on YouTube. So one of the main reasons is that now we want to break a bit apart that point system that we had with competition and really highlight that tricklining can be like super creative. And that basically you have different style, different personalities, and that's with points, it's almost impossible to judge such competition. And that having a subjective judging with opinions make the whole competition not about being fair, but about pushing creativity and what certain people prefer. Do you have anything to add on that behalf?
Well, basically what we wanted to give the community a challenge. Because of COVID, there wasn't much to do for the athletes. At the same time, we want to basically build a platform on YouTube where we are showcasing tricklining. And that's a very important thing, which has been neglected. We want to get the community activated so that they understand that it's not just in the hand of this here to define the future, basically, of tricklining, but it's in the hands of all of us. And last but not least, it's fucking fun.
I agree, 100%. Point A to point B, you guys, you know, the environment's changed as well. So it's not just about tricklining, it's how you could perceive the environment, but also give it to the world. So I really enjoyed that part of it as well.
Yeah, especially, and knowing that now, especially with the pandemic, now most of the stuff has turned digital. And actually, there was a big lack of trickline content on YouTube. Because if you want to learn about something, if you want to discover a sport, where do you go? you just go on YouTube and you type what you're looking for. It's like the modern TV of most people nowadays. So we wanted to really create more content on YouTube so that for anyone that has an interest of tricklining, they can just go on YouTube and found tons of videos, tons of different style, and really get inspired.
I mean, Philip can agree, and I think you too as well, Andy and Jaan, we've been doing this for many, many years. There are so many interesting characters in slacklining, and especially also in tricklining. And I think the problem about Instagram is like it doesn't give you the in-depth about the character and how the people are intertwined. And that's why we want to just open up another option. We're not saying like it's one or the other. And that's why we feel like YouTube has more of a sustainable approach to information. But other than that, no, without further ado, let's continue.
Yeah. So to continue the introduction of the finalists and see like who are, because basically to make a quick reminder, we had a qualification round where anyone could join. And then out of this big round, we select 6 finalists that went into the final. And we would like to just emphasize why those 6 finalists. And yeah. So we have a little.
How about, no, wait a second. Aren't we going to introduce a little bit the judges at first?
I mean, if people don't know who we are already, get with the times, bro.
No, unfortunately, we have to still find lots of new people, you know,
okay.
in a sense here. And I think, I don't know if everyone still knows who Philip is.
Oh, come on. People know who Philip is. Don't hurt his feelings. Good God. Philip is like one of the most legendary people who first showed that kids could do this. And the intro to being a kid and being able to introduce the form of play on the slackline. Play is so important in the cognitive development of what you guys are talking about in this contest, which is creativity and creation of tricks. So what Philip, you guys did was you invented the first people who could sit in the park and sell slacklines and make a decent wage. Oh my God, remember the glory days of all of that? And he was also there filming every single one of the world contests. So if you guys want to go back and look at the world championships from 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, all the way through, Philip is the man who is there. And that's pretty much the intro he needs to have right there. So.
Yeah. So maybe to continue this round here, let's move on to explain quickly who Jaan is, because we know Jaan. Maybe people who have just stepped into tricklining or slacklining may know Jaan as now being a Red Bull athlete, but there's much more to that. I think he was the toy boy as well of Madonna, as far as I can remember, in 2012.
Well, I mean,
I think Andy got more kissed by Madonna.
Whoa, I had to sign an NDA. I don't know what you're talking about. Basically, Jaan Roose was formerly known as the Machine, because what Jaan did was he was the first slackliner who looked like he was raised by wolves out in the snow, just throwing things that literally, back in the day, we were still learning the equation of how slacklining actually works. So the lines were not actually the best equation possible. So the tricks that we were doing and the way that we were doing them actually hurt a lot. Your body took a lot more impact from not only the sport itself being rigged wrong, but the environments that we were putting it in. So when he was hitting the ground, he wasn't hitting pads. When he was hitting the line, he was hitting a line that wasn't rigged right. And from training things like the first back burners where you're doing flips onto your back to doing 5 front flips in a row, there are still tricks that Jaan Roose landed years ago that are not completed. They are not repeated by anybody else in the world, including double backflip from feet to feet, including just legendary. The best part about Jaan, actually, if I had to define it, is that he had fun in contests. Every single time he went out there, it wasn't about winning. It was about having fun. And when he did win, he did it having fun. And that was kind of his whole thing, is not only was he landing the hardest tricks, not only was he super ultra creative and rigging lines and doing all sorts of experimental trick lining, but he always had a smile and was super fucking humble. And that's who Jaan Roose is. And that's why he's a Red Bull athlete doing all the stuff and has the most creative contest in the world, hands down right now.
True, totally.
That's
And
also
I think
why
all of us totally agree on this.
Every single one of the 88 shows, every single one of the 88 shows, he was there.
He was the only person besides Madonna, performing for an entire year on this show. It was amazing. Last but not least, of course, we have here the man, the godfather of slacklining, the first person ever to do a backflip, the person who used to make fun of us at the beginning that our lines were excellent for securing high lines.
They still are. They still are.
Until you realize
original lines too. They're durable.
something's actually happening here. Until you realize something's actually happening here, and then he joined up forces with us, and we created basically a new sport called tricklining. And I think from that perspective, I think if someone hasn't heard Andy Lewis and is in slacklining, go onto YouTube, go onto Instagram, and find out that this person is probably the most important person in the history of modern slacklining. He's been inspiring, although he's mostly now jumping down cliffs. He is still a true inspiration. And we just watched the 10-year anniversary, 2017. And remember, we had this weird highline setup, and all the pros couldn't walk it. Who could walk it? Andy. And
I got it tatted.
He is still the absolute specialist when it comes to that. And he's still an absolute legend. And I'm just waiting for him to get a position in a night show and what do you call it, in a Saturday night live show, because he's absolutely entertaining and he should belong into entertainment business, really. And
well, thank you very much.
As a true friend, and has been always part of this whole story, and very inspirational, very creative, and I believe the inventor of the treeware.
You know what? The treeware, it's my gift to the sport ever. But you got to realize that it wasn't about creating a sport for me ever. It was about showcasing a lifestyle. So it's not just about the sport. It's about how you live, keeping slack in life, being compassionate, empathetic, creative, not just in slacklining, but using it as a metaphor. So the metaphor of slacklining, one step at a time, having a goal at the end of your line, but having to be present in the moment each step of the way. Whenever you fall off, teaching yourself to get back up and try again and never give up. Those are the things that I wanted to preach in the terms of slack life. And that's why Philip is famous for never giving up the video channel and never giving up filming. Why Jaan is famous for never giving up trying to land the tricks and never giving up trying to create things that bring community together. And for you guys who never give up on trying to make slacklining available for everyone. And that's the whole thing. So thank you guys for being a part of my life.
So on those words, I would like to make a small parenthesis for all the people that are watching us. If you have any questions for Jaan, Andy, and Philip, don't hesitate to write them into the chat. We will try to answer all of them. And don't forget to subscribe and press that like button if it's not done to the channel, because it really helps us and it really push the content out there on YouTube and spread the Slack life.
It'll also help you guys to subscribe. It'll help your creativity and your inspiration. So do it selfishly. Don't help us. Help you.
And now we'll move on with presenting the 6 finalists.
How about, I would like to, if it's possible, before we do present the 6 finalists, and we're not going to go too much into detail. We're not going to watch every video or whatever, but I would like to ask a question to the 3 judges, maybe starting with Jaan. What were your expectations when you came into this judging before watching the videos? What were you expecting?
Well, I was expecting to be impressed, and impressed in a way that actually I will never think about or even think towards that way, what I will see. And probably because the most interesting thing, the most I like about slacklining since I started was more trying these new things, ideas, and showing them to people and impressing them. Also through the videos. So I was really expecting to see the interesting stuff through the video itself, not just as visually what they are doing something new, but in terms of tricks, but also everything else, what I would not think about usually.
Philip, how was it for you? I mean, where did you see, what were your feelings when you saw the criteria basically of the judging in connection basically with shit, I have to watch now 6 videos and make a decision?
I mean, it's not that hard to watch 6 videos. Come on. Well, to be honest, I didn't really have expectations. The only expectations I had was hopefully I'm going to be surprised. I mean, I knew that like this format will give the chance to people who are not that good in terms of trick lining to make all up by being like super creative. And that was what I was hoping for, to see people who are not that good in slacklining that just push the boundaries in terms of being creative. And this is what I always liked about the sport. It gives you so many possibilities to be creative. And yeah, this was what I was looking forward to.
Great. I think, Andy, you mentioned already in the publication basically your approach basically, that you said you want to see you went in with no expectations basically because you wanted to see basically what's going to happen and be surprised yourself on that behalf.
Yeah, I mean, right now, for me, it was just I wanted to understand what people were doing in terms of editing, in terms of locations, in terms of tricks, and how they were going to try to make me look at slacklining differently. I like it when you see a video that actually just changes the way that you actually perceive what's possible in slacklining. So the editing and the music and all that is just kind of garnishes to it. So being able to present it is also different than actually doing it. So doing a trick is one thing, but presenting it in another way is another. So it's important for all of us as a community to understand the responsibility necessary in presenting your material properly.
I mean, it can be presented properly also in a very low quality way. It just has to be entertaining.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. So I will be getting this helicopter here shortly, just to warn you guys. There might be some helicopter noise. I'll mute it in the background for for most of it. When you guys ask me to respond, I'll turn on the noise.
I think we all are okay with it for now.
Perfect. Hell yeah.
So I think what we would like to do now is introduce basically the 6 finalists and explain a little bit as well why we picked these 6 finalists.
So JP should be like 2 minutes here. 2? Yeah, he said he was on Sunny Acres like 3 minutes ago. Okay. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'll mute myself.
What you will see in a second is basically the athletes. So we had basically people, we had Eric from the US. We had Yerla from Chile, Benny from Germany, the longer line team around Matthias, and Abraham from Chile, Simon from Germany, and Valentin from France. And the thing was that made basically the whole thing appealing was that each of them had a unique approach of communicating something that is very important and valuable. So if you will be able to switch the screen, we see this unfortunately only in a delay, but you will see that basically Eric was all about reaching new frontiers and having an approach basically which was unique in its own way. Yerla, on the other hand, it was all about stamina in her qualification video. So it was about trying, not giving up. And even if you take hard falls, this is the price you pay if you want your passion and your dedication basically to be followed. Benny was basically trying to show creativity. Similar to Jaan's philosophy, he was trying to see like, what can I do with my environment and a slackline and how can I play with it? And that was absolutely unique, his approach. Matthias, the 2 Matthiases and Abraham, it was all about amazing choreography connected with absolutely hardcore tricks, world-class tricks, and at the same time showing a full-on lifestyle. Simon presented us a video that gave us the feeling that we were watching a commercial car video. So it was, in terms of editing, absolutely professional and unique. And Valentin, last but not least, was the video presented with an amazing storyline, besides, of course, all the other great features that were inside it. So that's the reason why we basically picked these 6 to basically go into the evaluation. Again, this is all subjective judging. If other people would have been here, probably there would have been perhaps other decisions, most likely probably other decisions. So please respect that from that perspective, because these things are things when it comes down to personal taste. And I think in the end, we will talk about this later more in detail. these three judges, basically, we just see them as absolute icons of the sport and very important people. And what we did here basically is ask them for their opinion.
So we also, if may I jump in, we really invite all of you guys to, if you have a different opinion, if you watch the video and you want to just tell what you liked, what you disliked about the video, please do so and start your own channel, create your own videos, and go on YouTube, pick the videos that are out there and comment them, and just share your passion and share how you like to see tricklining portray, and just share with the community. I think we have Andy jumping in and out. I guess the helicopter.
I guess so, yes. The helicopter is going to start any moment. Where are we now? For the schedule?
Now basically we are done with the introduction, and we will start with the discussion. So in a moment, you will see on the screen the ranking of each judge, and that's where it becomes interesting with the format we have used this year, is that now Jaan, Philip, and Andy will be able to see what were the each how can you say that?
What were the results basically each of them picked, and they can see basically what the other guys picked, because you will be able to see now inside the chat that of course the results are very different. And that's where you can see basically that the whole thing came down to personal taste as well. Because I don't think this is just like, I like red more than blue, but they are just simply different things when it comes to the perspective of priorities. And I think that was the interesting part of the whole thing. And I think that's why we also picked these three judges, because we knew they have a different approach basically for the sport. But each of these approaches is very important. And for that reason, basically, we did it in this way. So maybe if I can read it out, in case you guys may not have it. I mean, for us at the moment, it's a little bit of a channel. We are here on chatting with each other on Zoom, and you guys on YouTube can basically see the results. We're just trying to make sure that the guys here can see all this.
Yeah.
But I can read it out. So basically what happened was that Philip chose Yerla as number 1, Valentin number 2, Benny on number 3, the Chilean longer line team on number 4, Eric on number 5, and Simon on number 6. Jaan, on the other hand, picked Valentin at number 1, Eric at number 2, Simon at number 3, Benny at number 4, Yerla at number 5, and Team Longer Line at number 6. Andy, on the other hand, picked Eric at number 1, Team Longer Line at number 2, Benny at number 3, Valentin at number 4, Yerla at number 5, and Simon at number 6. So you could say the only one where the judges were unanimously had the same opinion was actually Benny, because he was more or less always at number 3. More or less. And I think maybe if we could start with you, Philip, because you picked basically Yerla at number 1, and maybe it would be nice to hear what were the reasons why you thought this video was for you the one that was most impressive, and why it had the best message basically.
And I think also just what would be really important, we would be curious to hear first Philip telling us your choice, and then I would be curious to know, like, Jaan, if you have any question, or Andy, if you have any question about that ranking, just I would be interested to hear as many details as possible from Philip about what he's looking for when you're watching videos.
Is it my turn now? Okay, so the thing is, actually my connection is not that good and I had some breaks. So you want me to give my opinion on why I chose Yeria on number 1, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is, like, for me, always slacklining was like a big thing about like community. It was not only about tricks. Of course, I'm like super impressed every time I saw a video of Jaan doing crazy shit, or all the other guys. But Yeria basically showed in her videos what was slacklining for me. I was never like a professional trickliner. I still do enjoy showing people like their first steps, and this is something that creates emotion for me. And like with both of the videos of Yeria, I could see that. I could see the passion she had, like even if it was like on a kind of low level compared to the other ones in terms of like super skilled trick lining, but like she was, I don't know, I just could see it. I could feel it that she's like really in love with it. And like she also lives the slack life, even if it's not like on the highest level, but she's fighting for it. Like, you know, she has her own goal. She wants to go for it, but also she sees the bigger scene around it. She always also enjoys it, showing it to people. She enjoys hanging out with other slackliners, and I could feel that in each video. That's why I don't know. All the other videos, of course, they were great, and like I had a really hard time to make my decision. But this was the one I could feel it the most, what it is slacklining, especially for me. It's my subjective opinion.
Mm-hmm. So Andy, as you're jumping back in again, we've got inside the Zoom chat, if you may have the chance to look into the link basically to the results basically of each of the individual judges. And I think the interesting thing is for you guys to see this, because your decisions, except Benny more or less being always at number 3, were like totally opposite sometimes. And it's basically because each of you had to have an individual approach to what is important to you in terms of designing basically the content and what type of message has value. So just to give you the information, we asked Philip basically right now why he picked actually Yerla at number 1. And so he just given his answer. I don't know if you have the opportunity to see it on the helicopter, the results.
Yeah. No, I saw the results, absolutely. And for me, Philip would absolutely choose Yerla because he understands the power of travel and how much time and respect it has to take the time to travel to all the different cities and meet all the different communities. So I think Philip would absolutely have the ability. Can you guys hear me okay on this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think that he would actually absolutely respect that, because in his heart, he really enjoys travel. He really enjoys being in different places, speaking different languages, and Latin America for him has a special place in his heart. So it doesn't surprise me that would be his decision.
Hey, and one more thing. It's like she was the only girl like really competing, and like I don't know, I also wanted to push a little bit like the girl thing, and I really like that she's like, yeah, I don't know, she's like pushing hard for a girl, you know. It's like, you know, the Sky Brown, the young girl that is now skateboarding at Olympia. Fuck man, this is like touching my heart, and I really want to see more girls doing trick lining and doing like crazy stuff. And like, yeah, it's a super good role model. So
I actually met Sky Brown when she was 5 years old in a in a television show, Super Kids it was called, and it was at that time with Teruto. Teruto was doing his show as well, and it's actually quite a funny story actually, because Teruto was together there with his father, who was just recovering from a bad meningitis. So all the best to him. And we had to try and convince Teruto to smile, because in his Japanese way, he was like this all the time. So basically, he did his performance in front of all the television and public television in Germany, did his tricks, landed, bowed his head, and smiled like this. And it was hilarious. And that's where I actually met them. And the father's American, the mother's Japanese, and they actually grew up in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was actually the show was about not about her, but about her younger brother, Ocean, who was 3 at that time. And he's actually also a big talent. And yeah, it was interesting for me as well to follow that development. But I totally agree. I mean, I think the big thing I felt as well for you as well was the whole aspect basically of this community that she was trying to communicate, that we are a big community, we are friends amongst each other and so on. Hi there. So how about switching to Andy? Andy, I think it's of course, I think for some people who know Andy a little bit better, that we understand totally why he felt that Eric was, in his opinion, at number 1. Do you want to elaborate that a little bit as well?
It just takes a special person to do tricks on the high line like that, and it's a new discipline that hasn't really been explored. So I give respect to all of the trickliners, but when you see new tricks in a new area of a new sport, like that could have been for so long, it's really cool to see someone doing it right now, right here, and also doing it well.
Mm. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I understand also why Andy picked Eric, because Eric, he was like also in my judging criteria, like strong, and I totally understood him in like considering like all the technical amount, and also as Andy explained, like doing something first time in a new place, and also like it just takes the balls. Andy have done that multiple times, and he knows it really well.
Can I just quickly, I'm just noticed in the chat, a big shout out to Patrick Werner. Yes, we haven't seen each other in a long time, and come to Stuttgart.
And for me, like if I may jump in, I would like to hear you, Jaan, speak a bit more about why Valentin first and Eric second, and how have you managed to make your final decision? Because actually I was very surprised that you put Valentin first. As you are like going hard, trying big tricks, etc. So I got surprised by your choice, and I would be really curious to hear actually what have been the critical factors that made you decide to put Valentin as the first place.
I think it was super hard because they were close. I mean, kind of they're just so different. I mean, they're winners in their own style, totally. But the critical moment to give Valentine first place was actually starting from my judging system, because as you know, guys, I made my own judging system from yours, kind of a little bit changed before I watched the videos, and then I was really focused on so much on like a little bit. I was really focused on the videos themselves, like the way the videos are done, and also like then I considered also like of course the technical part of doing hard stuff, tricks, but as you explained, I mean, as you mentioned already, trying for so many years, hard stuff all the time, impressing people also with difficult tricks. Well, with judging, I wanted to see like to be impressed with. I would not think about, because usually I can predict someone to add one more flip, one more spin, and then expect it in a video, but story-wise, when you have like story to come up with a story, what usually is not the cliche story, but something new, that made my decision by the end. Like both videos were great in terms of like editing and music, but there was like this one key moment, like the story, which was like it was so hard actually to think about, like to come up.
It's like we didn't make it easy for you. Like I said, we picked 6 different characters with 6 different, and that makes it put-ended. And I think that's why there is no discussion whether anyone decided wrong or right. Yeah. Like we said, it is down to basically asking and being thankful for giving your opinion. Next time, 3 other judges, 3 other criteria, maybe 3 other things under.
Gibbon, créateur du Slack.
Yeah. And basically, from that perspective, I think there is no hard feelings or anything for any of the decisions made from either of you. And I hope that the community understands that we are actually very thankful, because we know from 14 years of experiences, it's horrible being a judge.
Oh, yeah.
It's horrible. You're
I would
always
say,
the idiot.
Yeah.
You're always the
I would definitely say that
the connection in the helicopter doesn't seem to be the best.
Yeah.
Make sign language.
Yeah. Worst case, Andy, you can always just add the chat.
Jaan Rose's choice too. He was also part of Madonna's show for so long that he respects creativity. So I think his choice also, history, his choice. I don't know.
Yeah, but we understood the last sentences from you. Yeah, I mean, Jaan has been probably one of the people that have had the longest amount of days, hours, months, and years, whatever, in show business. And he is the guy when it comes down to doing uncomplicated things, besides you, of course, as well, Andy. But his perspective, his perspective is very much on the presentation of the whole thing. And I think that's why I felt as well that the choice of having you three together as a judging team was very good, because it gave sort of like different sides. And maybe if you would have judged it again today, it would have been a completely different result. You don't know. And I think we have to respect that from that perspective. And I actually enjoyed it from that side, because if we go into a contest, you know, like, for example, the World Cup, and we've been putting a lot of effort, you know, switching from subjective judging more and more towards objective judging. And then we had people who created amazing systems, but were ultra complex. And the ethics still managed to hack it, you know? And from that perspective, it's super frustrating, I think, for us as organizers and judges to create something where you never will have someone complaining, because in the end, you will always create some form of inequality. So from that side, I thought, or we thought that the idea of having this spread even further apart with even more different categories and so on, and then just focusing on subjective judging was much easier.
Absolutely.
It was actually much easier in the end.
Yeah, and I really think main subject. So the whole storyline behind Eric's journey to those tricks was part of why I liked his video the most.
Yes.
For me, I would also be curious to hear from you guys if, when watching the videos, you had some frustration compared to your expectation. You know, when you sit and you see the video, oh, and finally it's out, and you look at it and you were like, you are surprised or whatsoever, and then what you would like to see more, like, or what's something you have seen and you got frustrated that it was only 2 minutes, for example. Because I had that with the Chilean, that video we had big tricks, and then I had a bit of frustration. I want to see more of that, and I would be curious to hear what you guys would you like to see more also in the future, like what you want to encourage the community to do more in their videos.
If I could go first, I would have loved to see a lot of the clips that didn't make it. I want to see the crashes and the fails, and all, like, especially from Benny's video. I would have loved to see the crashes and fails of that video, and like the making of. So
I mean,
having
the thing, I think the big,
of those excellent.
The crazy thing about Benny's video were, if I may say so, because I mean, Benny, we know Benny here because he's also from Stuttgart, and we know lots of the details. There were no crash pads, nothing.
It was concrete. It
was hardcore. And I mean, him running on a beam, which is 5 meters high, where I know I've had other athletes on there that are like this. He's like this, running around and then trying new approaches. It was really cool. And I remember, Andy, when you approached me and asking, like, did I actually make the right decision? Should it be Benny? Should it be someone else? And I found that really nice in a sense, you know, because it showed how hard it was to make a decision. And I hope that in the end it was here as well, you know, what made the choice. Because in the end, you can apply so many ways of logic, and you will always come out with a different result. So, where are we now for the whole thing?
No, so for me, we've been speaking a lot about the top of the ranking, but I would really like to hear also about the other videos, because of course you have on top of the ranking, it has evolved. But for me, like, I would be curious to know about Simon, for example, that went with the editing in like totally crazy. And what's your opinion on that? Especially when I see that, Jaan, you had Simon as third on your ranking, where Andy, you actually put him last, and Philip too. So that's for me something that surprised me, and I would like to hear more why Philip and Andy you put Simon as the last, and why Jaan, you've been putting him as third. Like what was really like impacting for you?
I think the important thing, if you can explain it from a perspective of giving Simon feedback to make things better.
Yeah, well, let's start with me, because I gave him like a quite good place. Like, let's say, as we mentioned before, Benny as well. Benny, if I as I said, I was really focused on all this ranking, like video itself. For example, if I judge creativity, then Benny will be the first one. Like the use of setup, the use of lines, like the crazy guy. You know how much time it takes just to read like more than one line. I mean, it's a more final. Yeah, I know what it feels like. It's crazy. I mean, but here also in terms of video, it was just fun to watch. I was like, I started watching, and the vibe of Simon video, I was like, okay, rappers video or something, like really in a forest. Of course, it got like in terms of tricks repetitive by the end, but it was so fun to watch it, like as a visual picture for me. I didn't check so much as let's say like with the music, of course, the picture and the music, but it was kind of more just simple entertainment video, nothing like no deep stuff to look for. Yeah, but that was really like the work of camera, music, editing, and really focused on a video itself.
I think if I may say as well, the interesting thing about Simon is that he has started studying film. So it's actually his skill level will rise and increase and increase. And I think we see that there's a big talent coming when it comes to film editing. And I think if he can get some more feedback how to get the story and the dramaturgy, the drama behind it, and the storyline, and also a bit more like working with the scenes, I think he can create some crazy, crazy stuff. Phil, from your side.
Are you guys waiting on me or what?
Yes.
Okay, then please tell me, because otherwise I'm not going to.
In fact.
Hello. All right. Maybe if you can give Simon some feedback, basically, why you picked him last.
Okay, so first of all, I start with like the good thing. It was amazing editing, like everything, the setup, the coloring, the editing, the cuts, the angles, the perspectives. Like I was really surprised by that. Also about his skills, like he really made a huge step forward. Like he's doing like really, really hardcore tricks now. So I was really impressed by this. You know, I said before, like why I like Yeria's movies. Like for me, it's like, what is slacklining? So I could see what is slacklining for him, but like for me, it's like much more. So first of all, it was only himself. You know, it was all about himself. And for me, like slacklining is a community sport. So, but that's my personal opinion. Okay, if you leave that aside, for me, the biggest bad part about his video was I couldn't see like a beginning and an end. It was like just basically it starts, music, perfect slacklining, perfect skills, whatever, and it just finished. And that's it. And I was like, okay, where's the story? Like what's the message behind it? I mean, I was impressed, definitely. And like I felt hard to put him on like the 6th place. I mean, but I would have felt the same with all the other people. So, but I had to make my choice. So in the end, it was basically to push him, because I know it's exactly the same what you said, Robert. You know, like I think we can expect like much more from this guy in the future in terms of filming, in terms of tricks. So basically, by putting him on the 6th place, I only want to say, dude, go harder, and you can make it like so much more on the top 3, like for sure. I mean, just come up with a story, and yeah, but he has great potential for sure. Like there was a lot good things in his video.
So we lost Andy. I guess the connection in the helicopter isn't so good. So if we continue on the bottom of the ranking, Jaan, why have you put the team, the Chileans, as the last? So Abraham and Matthias.
Yeah. It's again, if I will judge like the technicality or trying new things, like they will be in the top with Eric, next to Eric probably. But there I was like let's say that like 2 minutes video, and most of the video I was seeing or watching just like fails. I understood the story. Like there was a simple, quick story about it, like how you try hard and you fail all the time and you have to show it. And then suddenly there's just few clips. Like of course there are like bangers and doesn't need to be maybe even more than that. But it felt like just more like a fail army video, a little bit for me. Like just putting together like all these crazy attempts, of course with a story a little bit, but that was again like just extra spin, extra flip, and like there was a camera work, of course, but even not just a simple but didn't feel so impressed by just going hard again. We see like at the competitions, we see like every second video on the internet, people trying to go hard, like in the different styles of slacklining. And this time I wasn't focused on just judging people top when they try to be like hard. It's super respect to them, like to Matthias with Abraham, what they are doing. It's like, it's crazy, but no, like not in this time.
Okay. I guess I totally understand it from your perspective, and I guess from your perspective, if they would have sort of like cut it maybe 15 seconds shorter and then just add 15 seconds of more creative shit of the sort of like, here, this is the pain and this is the outcome.
Yes, like I mean, I know
it was like too much pain, not much outcome in the whole story.
Yeah, and then what they're like, even like some were landed and some were not so well even landed. So it's kind of, we got something, we will add it. So just to have like one more clip in those three good clips. But at the same time, maybe because I knew what they're working on, and I had more, probably I had the most expectations for them in terms of creativity, because I know they can be creative. And here, there was not like creativity, I would say, in my opinion, because just like doing a new trick or like just adding extra spin and flip, it's just not the creative in terms of video making. So that's why I didn't judge it high.
Okay. Philip, I remember talking to you about the whole story a little bit, and you giving us some feedback on that side. I think might be interesting as well, maybe from your side, your perspective, to give feedback to Abraham and his team.
Well, I mean, maybe like Jaan said, I was expecting a little bit more. There was also some filming, some images I didn't really like, and the thing is, like, I had really high expectations on them, because they're like, but they're like some of the best worldwide trickliners ever, and they're all really, really good. And I don't know, it had this, maybe it's because I couldn't see so much joy in it. Maybe it was because this pain part was like very big, and like I was missing something more funny, more with joy, more with slack life, positive attitude. I mean, I could see the story also, but the video for me was too dark, kind of. The emotions, I could see them, but it was nothing that really touched me, and I expected a bit more. But still, I have to say, like, the tricks are amazing.
No, but then to balance what you are saying about the video of the Chilean, you have put Eric after them. And I feel that they are very, like Eric and the Chilean were very similar in terms of showing a bit the story of a big trick.
Eric and who were similar?
But you have put in your ranking the Chilean as the fourth place, and the video of Eric as fifth.
Yeah.
And I found the video of the Chilean and Eric was a bit similar when it comes to the work that you have to put into making new tricks.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to know, like, actually, how did you manage to make the comparison between the two videos?
Well, maybe it was because, like I said before, because I think for me, slacklining is a community thing. Maybe it was just unconscious that, or in my subconscious, that I'm going for the one movie where the people at least slackline together, because this is something that is important for me. So I mean,
understand.
in terms of filming, Eric's video was like much better,
Mm.
like the light, the color grading and everything. Like I like this one much more, and it also had like a, yeah, I don't know. But you know, at some point you have to make a decision. So maybe you would have asked me like one day later, I would maybe change them. But I think this is what made me putting them before Eric, because they still had the thing, we do it together.
I think why Axel has been mentioning this, because if you look at the race between Eric and Valentin,
yeah,
it was basically this little thing that made the difference. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Because Valentin made first, second, and fourth, and Eric made first, second, and fifth.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the 0.333 factor that made the difference.
So no,
I think this is again the important message. We respect your choice, and I think we value all of your choices, and that's why we can only be thankful. And I hope the community understands that.
Well, for me, I really hope that anyone watching this video will feel that they want to add also their opinion, that they will share also their thoughts on that, and that's so. Please write it in the chat, write it in the comments. And I think it's when we discuss about all those topics that we can make also the community grow and just provide more insights about tricklining. And I would like to make a quick parenthesis also, because that's something we've been speaking a lot about the athletes, about the filming, but we forgot a bit the people behind the filming. And I got some also like insights of each one of them, how they film and who they got. And I think that's something that would be important to speak about too, especially for you, Philip. You've been most of the time behind the camera and not in front. And so just for the quick overview, for example, like Leria, she got the guy that filmed her movie. She was actually a guy filming, if I'm not wrong, Leria, if you see that video, please write in the comments if I'm wrong. He was filming inline skate, so not at all slacklining, nothing related to trickline, and he was just making inline skate videos that she really liked, and so she just went to him to ask to make her video. Okay. Then on the other hand, Valentin was just putting on Facebook, "Hey guys, I want to participate to this video. Anyone want to help me to film?" And it's friend of his brother who just made a video for his small shop selling cheese and meat from France, that contacted him and said like, "Oh, but actually we want to start producing more videos," because they were doing that as a side job. Okay. And they just went into it and made a video with him, and they become super friends. And actually, in the last video of Valentin, you can see his brother into the video. So I will let you go and check the video and just find who is his brother. Benny did everything himself. And that's pretty impressive. So he had the ideas, the filming, etc. Then the Chilean, it's a guy from the association, because they have an association where they promote trampoline, trickline, and different sports. And so the guy at the origin of this association was behind the camera. Eric is, of course, I think we all know him, is Justin behind it. And like Justin is doing like really a lot at the moment in terms of video. Is of course a lot in freestyle highline, but in trickline, etc.
He rages.
Exactly, and he's really like super active, and it was really cool to see that combo. And then Simon, that we already mentioned, that he's been doing all that also himself.
Well, with a friend as well.
Together with a friend, and they've been working together. And I think I would like to hear what Jaan and Philip you think about actually all those people that we haven't seen in the videos.
If I may jump in as well to put my comment on this whole thing. I got suspicious when I watched Valentin's first movie that he had maybe paid some money to some professional agency, and so I started Googling and researching and found out that Mocha Films on YouTube has 50 followers.
Wow. That's more than Jaan has.
Yeah.
But that just gives you the perspective. We're not talking about a professional production in a sense that, hey, I've just got money, I'm going to buy the best in or whatever. These people really sort of like built up this quality through community, friends, and personal effort, and I find this totally amazing.
And I know that I've been working on behind the scene, and I feel like Andy mentioned it before that he wants to see behind the scene, and I would really invite all the finalists and even all the participants to the contest to share the behind the scene. Like go on your YouTube channel, share the behind the scene, share what it took to create those videos, because that can create even more content for the community.
I think Jaan can also sing a song about this, that often the videos of his fails are more successful than the actual videos.
Yeah, I mean, even like for First Beast, let's say, like probably it's behind the scenes video, even if it's in a foreign language, even if you guys make it in your own language and add subtitles later, it could be even more interesting. It's always interesting to see and know what's happening in the backstage, because actually in the backstage we have like friends, moms, and like helping, bringing pizza and feeding you, and it's like there's a story behind that, how it all like happening, like how you got those videos.
Yeah, but sorry, Philip, let's get back to you then.
Yeah.
All right, tell me the question again.
Yes, please tell the question again.
No, but if I was wondering if you can relate to actually also all the people that were filming behind, or how do you relate with them, or what do you think about their work, etc.
Well, I mean, you could see like some like Simon's video. Well, Eric, I don't know really how hard the terrain was to go and film. The thing is, like, I haven't seen I wish I could have seen like the making ofs. I wish I could see how big the team was. Like sometimes there is only one guy behind a movie, or Benny, he filmed himself. Yeah, crazy. I mean, you know, if you put that like all together, I mean, yeah, it's really hard to judge that. I mean, I like the idea. Like, Axel, if you can make it to get the guys back on the editing thing and like release.
I know that Benny has a lot of behind the scene. I know that Valentin also.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the Chilean have. Actually, Eric, probably not that many, because he got surprised himself the first to learn the tricks relatively fast, I know. But I would still like to know, like, he should have made a vlog actually about his trip, because he flew to meet Justin over the weekend, because Eric has a full-time job. So he flew over a weekend to go and meet Justin to film everything over a weekend just for the contest. And that would have been awesome. I would have loved to see a vlog of Eric packing everything and thinking, oh shit, I have to do all my tricks I want to do over a weekend because I'm flying back home after. And that's really like, come on guys, all the people watching the video, behind the scene, we want to see how things are happening.
Great.
And
so I think what will be the next topic?
I think that was something we could
yes. So
announce.
We've mentioned this already. I hope you've seen this in social media, the announcement that we were going to use this platform now here as well to announce something, because there were like 4 different types of categories within this whole contest. So far, we've been talking only about this first category, which was, of course, the overall winner. The second one was the Munich Award, which was organized as one of the partners of this whole thing was the city of Munich, where we usually have the World Slackline Masters. So they were generous enough to join in forces with us and help us a bit. And they also supported us to create a Munich Award, which Simon won, of course, as he's from that area. And last but not least, we had next up, we had the female, best female contest, which Yerla won with her first contest, first video, the qualification video. And last but not least, we had the Public Choice Award. So what we asked everyone is to go onto the videos and make comments. And anyone who has been following it has seen that there was a particular group where we always kept, when we picked the 6 finalists, we were like, oh my God, are they going to kill us? Are they going to kill us? Because the video is also fucking awesome. And we're actually really happy that it won as well, this video. So how about we switch now and watch the video so that all of you guys know who officially now is the winner of the Public Choice Award.
pouquinho que tá colar. Pode chegar, a vibe positiva na Slack vai rolar. É que me dá o equilíbrio, alimentando meu espírito. É que me faz queimar no chão e abre o poder da visão. É que me dá o equilíbrio.
Switch it up. Switch it up. Switch it up.
Nossa, mano! Caralho! Tive um sonho cabuloso, velho!
So yeah, congratulations to Alison and his team around Darillion and Henley. And it was a video where we really, like I said, it was so hard making a choice basically, because that was actually the third video, which was about a dream. Because the first video in qualification from Valentin was just mind-blowing. And for us, then we had to make a choice, and we made it this way. So we're even more happy right now to see that the Public Choice Award clearly goes to the team around Alison. And I think from that perspective, we can only say amazing job. I think it was a great idea. Guys, Jan, Philip, do you have any feedback to give to Alison?
Yeah.
Muito bom, Alixão. Tudo bem, sinistro. Obrigado. No, I liked it. I mean, it's the Brazilians. I like to watch them. They're always having fun. That's what's always like impressing me. And they did hardcore tricks. They went creative. I liked it. I mean, I didn't really expect that they come up with a video that good, because usually you see them like with their cell phones filming in their training hall, but then they come up with this and they made a story and they had like some beautiful lights, and I liked it.
Yeah, I agree with Philip actually, that also I didn't expect them to come up with such a great video in terms of like filming, the lights, and the idea of I mean, it's actually probably like landing and doing those tricks, it's quite hard. Like if you have performed in a bad lighting conditions, you know what is like, it's just a horrible moment, like when you have no light, and they had to do it like in the darkness with a little bit of glowing. So it's like that impressed me, and like visually it's just beautiful. Like really good work.
I think that one point of critique which we brought up, making our choices from that sense, picking, not putting them into the final, besides having 3 videos about dreams, so the stories were more or less 3 the same, was on the one hand, the whole lighting effects were super cool because visually they looked amazing. But the problem about it was you couldn't really see what was going on. And I think that was the downside, because you couldn't see anymore what type of trick was happening, what was really happening. So when I showed it, for example, to bystanders who are not really involved, they couldn't even understand what was happening there in the picture. So I think that's the danger of going into this direction, into being this artistic with the approach, that you don't understand anymore what's really happening. And I think there's a very thin line you are walking when you're going down this path.
Can I show you that? Like, I did a quadruple backflip just yesterday, and like, see that? I mean, I also did it like in complete smoke, but you know, bam, and I landed it. Fuck, and it was super hard. And you don't understand it if you have never done it. But anyways.
Yeah. So anyway, congratulations, guys. You absolutely deserve the Public Choice Award. And we are so looking forward to seeing more content, because you proved that you guys can create super amazing content. I have this one vision, Philip. You remember, was it 2012, 13, when you were in Brazil and you created the Slackline Brazil video?
2011, I think.
Was it 11?
I think it was 11.
What is this absolutely epic waterline spot called in Niterói?
Piratininga.
Hey!
Praia Piratininga.
Please, Alison, Pedro, Giovanna, all you guys,
go there.
Meet up there. We will help you to realize this. We want a crazy ass trickline video at this spot.
Yes.
That would be, I think the whole world would absolutely enjoy this. And I think you would be able to totally mind blow, because this is probably the most epic waterline spot on the planet. At least for tricklining. And if you understand what I mean, the spot is, you've been there, Jaan, as well?
Yeah, I mean, I spent some months in Niterói, but is it like, isn't short, that spot? Like for
Anyway, you zipline them.
You zipline them, you do whatever, or you try and rig it in a higher way. Yeah, this spot is just...
That's an amazing spot.
I think Andy managed a backflip feet to feet there when he was there. And it's still, I bet you can rig a longer line there as well.
Oh, there's me, look.
Mind blowing.
Oh, anyways.
It is just absolute mind blowing. Okay, thank you very much, Philip.
Thank you.
No, and for me, I would like to jump in for all the people that are looking. We mentioned it at the beginning of the video, why YouTube? And I think that's another thing which is really important for all the people that want to publish content, is to understand on the platform you are using. So each platform has different algorithms and ways to push the content. And with the Public Choice Award, like we went to that really, the video that can bring the biggest community behind them, really get the most views also. And on YouTube, the algorithm push videos that receive likes and comments. And so that's where now that's basically because the video of the Brazilians got the most comments, so if the YouTube algorithm works well, we'll push that video and hopefully get much more views on their work, etc., and encourage people to do the same. And we found it amazing that they managed to get 400 people going to comment on their video. And that's why we really encourage any trickliners to go, and when you watch a trickline video from someone from the community, to leave a comment, just a small like, or just an encouragement that really help everyone. And I think that's every trickliner need that, and that is really important that everyone help each other to push their contents to the front of YouTube.
On top of that, YouTube is a channel which can be more related to television, and we see the social media channels as complementary. For me personally, being like Philip, a little bit more old school, of course, YouTube is more like the commonly known and used channel. But Instagram is more the teaser, because the information is very compact and very short, and short-lived as well. So from that perspective, YouTube has the great advantage. Once it's there, it's going to be there forever. And they value watch time. So they value actually that people like us create content that is not just 30 seconds, 1 minute or something like that, that actually people want to see and want to spend time seeing. And I think that's something we want to encourage the community as well to become more active, because what we want to do with this whole event, and we want to repeat it, and this is what we're going to move on to in a minute with the next topic, we want to really encourage that building a community is part of the responsibility of our community itself.
And so that's why we have created the Gibbon tribe. So everyone who wants to join, we have the link in the description. So it's basically a group on Discord, for the one who know, where everyone can join and discuss. So we created the groups per country so that you can speak in your own language and really create local community, support. You can go there and ask us questions if you need help to create your own videos, if you need help to create ideas.
Or you simply need to know how to use a ratchet.
Or simply learn your first steps, even you want to get into tricklining. You have plenty of trickliners. You have all the pro team from Gibbon in the group. And then we can just simply like help each other to make tricklining grow.
Or to know how to strangle a cat with a slackline.
Exactly. Or watch the slackline or cut slackline. I think like Jaan would be happy to give you some courses, I'm sure. And so really you can find the link in the description of this video to join the tribe. And if you have any questions, go in it, ask, and we will be happy to answer.
Great. So I think we're coming to the conclusion of the whole thing. And when it comes to this, I think we want to sort of like put a resume behind this first time making this online video contest. And I think the primary idea we had was to sort of like do a qualification round and then go into a finals with a limited amount of people, with 6 people, who then basically have to repeat doing something again. So that we don't end up having 50 videos having to be judged from 50 to 1, which is of course much harder. Nonetheless, I think what we saw is that the challenge for the athletes was that creating 2 bangers within a short given time is hardcore. And I think there will be people out there who have probably commented or said that some of the qualification videos of the individuals were better than the final videos. And this is of course understandable because there was probably always been a lot more time, mindset, preparation into the first video and the stress of probably giving my best shot to be able to reach the final. And then you end up in the finals and you only have 6 weeks, was it?
Yeah.
About 6 weeks to produce another result. So I think from that perspective, I think one thing we have learned from this whole thing, if I may put a resume in, number one, I think the subjective judging worked awesomely. I think you guys did an amazing job and I'm very thankful about it. I think in the name of the whole team.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I would suggest for next year that we only do 1 video. It will make it a bit harder for the judges because then they have to evaluate not just 6 to 1, but probably something like 50 to 1. But I think it will make it in the end easier to produce more crazy content. And I think if I may continue on my personal opinion, I think it wasn't a mistake as well to show the diversity, which is something, of course, we could start discussing. Are we going to have, let's say, 4, 5, whatever categories of video contests? But the dilemma you have there then is that the management and the organization becomes just times 6, which is not something we can at the moment we can handle at the moment from our side. That would have to be something where the community would have to step in and help us, if you understand what I mean. But this is something, of course, also open for discussion because we don't see this as our core most important thing from an economical point of view to do this. We do this because we love it. And I think from that perspective, I hope that the community understands that it's not just something where Gibbon comes along and then everyone sits there and says like, when are you going to do the next thing? You know, we don't see ourselves as the responsible people to develop the sport. This is something we can only do together. And I think people like Jaan, Andy, Phil will totally agree on this side that I think if we can help each other on that side, we can only benefit as a team or as a tribe or community.
That's true, actually.
For the sport.
I think that's quite a nice little conclusion before jumping in a few questions, or at least the only question we have received so far from the chat. We have the question from Matthew Silva. I think, can slackline still reach the level of Olympic sport, or has the movement dropped? Dropped, what are you saying?
The chance is lost. He thinks maybe. Maybe he thinks that there is no chance anymore.
No.
But yeah, I think Robert can like compare that the best, seeing the scenery of skating, probably.
I think transports always move in waves. And I think we were forced now into a situation where the development of the sport had sort of like reached a certain level where it was, I wouldn't call it stagnating, but the market itself became more diverse, and the topic tricklining became more and more isolated, you could say, in a certain way. And at the same time, we had the situation that, of course, with Corona and COVID, all the events stopped. But what I can say, and this is the nice thing, is that slacklining itself has received a huge push because, let's put it in a blunt way, because of Corona, many people had to stay at home and they had to entertain their kids. So many kids basically now have started slacklining because they got a slackline into their garden so that they can keep themselves occupied. And what we have learned from the start is that it's the young generation who will push the whole thing to the next level. And I think from that perspective, and looking at the videos we've seen, there were many young talents.
Like the Japanese kids.
Japanese, yeah.
Especially the Japanese kids, but not just the Japanese kids. There were many people from all around the world that were very enthusiastic. And what I can always say, and this is the dilemma, I think, what tricklining has been having over the years, is it's been developing in terms of a skill level very fast. But the problem is a very, very stupid problem.
It's because of young.
Well, no, it's a general problem, but because if you want to become the best, you have to spend a lot of time training. And if you're training,
you have to drop the school.
You have to drop school. You have to drop hanging around with the community. And
then you end up like this guy.
So what my pledge would be when it comes to the sport itself, everyone who's good at tricklining, build a community around it. It's actually really easy. We've been doing this several times. You just write out to the people, say like here on Facebook, I meet up, come guys, I'll give you some tips while I'm training. Maybe skip one training per week and then use it to invite people and find little Padawans. We did that in the past, and you will be surprised and you will be so proud and you will be so happy about seeing their skills and developments. And it is fun. And the more, the merrier. That's what I can assure you. So coming back to the final thing with the whole Olympic story, I mean, we've just experienced sorry about my word, but we've just experienced subjective judging being part of Olympic Games yet again, besides gymnastics, ice skating, and whatever, cross-country skiing. This is a joke, but anyway, you understand what I'm saying. So I don't see any dilemmas when it comes to the judging part of the whole thing. And I can tell you, we have systems which are much more refined, which are computer managed, which could easily be integrated into an Olympic challenge. I think what we have to do is we just have to annoy the whole world that this should be an Olympic sport. And I think what we have to work on as well, what we have to support I'm talking now from a trickline perspective, we have to support associations in building up these infrastructures, because so far associations have mostly been developing around the other fractions, basically, or the other aspects. That's a better word. Fraction is a bad word. The other aspects and possibilities of slacklining, and so far they've been fairly left alone, because associations are an important part to getting something Olympic.
So, if I may jump into the next questions, that can, I think, probably close the chat. What is the next project of Gibbon Slackline after King of Slackline?
King of Slackline? You mean the Unreal tournament?
No, now, like, what are
yeah, we're closing down now on
so
King
now,
of Slackline.
Now we have Unreal closing down, King of Slackline closing down. So what's the next big topic? If I can just make a quick parenthesis.
Yes.
I think one of the main topic we want to push is to create more content online. So as we mentioned with the Unreal, we want to create more content. We want to create more insights. And that's one of the big topic of the Gibbon tribe that we're going to push a lot. We really want to focus on the community of the Gibbon tribe and create content together. We want to create, we have a lot of ideas actually. We'll let Robert mention a few of them, but we want to create more content digitally. We want to comment on what's happening out there, and we want to really try to build those insights of the sports.
Exactly. I think another very, very important aspect is, like I said at the beginning of this meeting, is simply that I believe we have, especially amongst the athletes and of course the filmers, Philip, amazing and unique characters. And the problem is we've been moving more and more into these platforms where the level of describing the character has been drifting away. It's been more and more people naked in front of waterfalls, you know, beautiful pictures, but they don't really show the character of the person behind it. And I think that's why we feel like we want to give more space and opportunities to basically get to know the characters behind these amazing stunts, these amazing videos and shows and stuff like that.
What is an athlete like Jaan eating for his health? I would like to know, what are you eating to be a healthy athlete?
Estonian sausage?
Local bakery.
Local.
Yes. So I think the intention is not to become a tabloid about the character and which underwear Jaan is wearing, which we know, by the way.
Gibbon one.
It's more like to show like how is the development basically of such a training. What is the mentality behind it? How can you step into this world and learn from these people and understand what their mindsets are from that perspective. That's one aspect. The other thing is, of course, we want to play around more with the whole online aspect. As some of the insiders may know, I have this weird passion at the moment about arm wrestling. And what I found absolutely amazing about how they do things is they call out super matches. And I would love to do this as well with the community. So I've offered to the athletes, if they manage to find a match between each other. I'm talking, for example, to Pedro in Brazil. If he managed to call a match, we call it out, and then we start trashing the shit out of it. And to the point where the actual event then happens. That's one thing. The next thing is, luckily, at the moment at least, let's keep our fingers crossed. The situation is becoming slowly but surely better and better. And we will actually be going back to events again. There's actually a contest happening now end of August at the Pangea Festival in Germany, which we're all looking forward to and hoping that it's not going to be corrupted by the nice little virus again. And on the same side, we are planning on, of course, doing much more, but because may have seen, we also have a new product out, which is the GIBOARD, which will show entirely new aspects and ways of entering the world of slacklining. We're quite busy in a sense.
And I think also I would like to know is, for example, Philippe asking us what our next big project. We also would like to know, guys, what are your next project? What's the community's project? What are you organizing? What are the events you're organizing? What video you're organizing? Like, Jaan, what is your next project? Philippe, do you have any video project? Philippe here in the chat, or Matthews, or who else is there? Valentin, like what are your projects? What are you planning? And I think it would be super nice to have it in the chat or in the comments below this video.
Make a video, talk about it, and let the world know your thoughts. I think from that perspective, it's really nice that what we are going to see at the moment as well, that some of the athletes, like I know Filip Oleksik, for example, in Poland, he's been complaining that nothing's happening. So he said, now in the end, I'm going to organize something myself. I have a big slackline setup. I think there's no one on the planet that has a bigger slackline setup than Philip at the moment in his backyard. And he said, hey, come on, let's do a contest at my place. And I think when you talk to Jaan has been a big stickler, and he's been inspiring us with his documentary from the Bones Brigade. Skateboarding had a similar development in the past. Yeah. And the community started organizing itself more and more and started creating grassroots events, and they became awesome. because they're totally authentic again. And I think when Philip and me talk about the past, how things started with us and with tricklining, we saw that this vibe was amazing, and we should bring it back more besides these big events, because they are the real authentic contests and shows and events and happenings where communities meet up. Yes.
I think we are reaching the end of the call. I would be curious to maybe end the call not from a word from us, but from Jaan and Philip. If you could summarize quickly what you thought about this competition and what you hope for it for the future, and especially for the community.
Yeah, as briefly mentioned about maybe if we would have more like awards, let's say like, limited to one video, let's say, and then you just give the best award for video, best for like the best tricklining, let's say, right? The most creative one. And it will make judging better as well.
Yeah.
And then also there will give more, like, it will diversify so that people will not focus only like in general. Of course, there could be like overall winner of everything, like, right? But we will give more food to athletes to decide.
So basically, we all enter into the same pot, but there are different categories where you can win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds like a very good idea.
Yeah, the most sweet one, the spiciest video, the saltiest video, let's say.
Yeah, and I think that would make things more handleable. Makes it, of course, harder for judging because you have more things to judge about. But at the same time, I mean, I think making a best video contest and then a best trick contest and then a best thing contest, it would be a lot, I think, from that perspective. So I think from that side, yeah, it's a very good idea.
Or maybe like if it's like just hard with 3 judges, maybe 5, depends. Like we can all decide, like the community also can comment what they would like to see, and then we think about.
Also, I would give one voice to the community as well, or maybe have like 4 judges and like 1 judge will be the community. But like to summarize it all, I really liked what I saw. Like there were so many amazing movies on such a high level. And now it's even like the boundary is even higher. And I think if we're going to do the same stuff next year and we kind of put a trailer together where we have already all these good movies, then people are hopefully feeling like really feel the inspiration. They can see what people have done before, and hopefully they will go even a step further. And I'm really looking forward to, but I also hope that like next year we are going to see like real contests again. And like I'm so eager to do some filming again, going back, see all the tribe, because like I know like they waited for such a long time to go get together and like Slack again. And this is where we'll be with my camera to catch like all these emotions, because this is what I really liked about filming, you know, like catching the moment, see the love that comes with the slacklining. And even if they are battling on a contest, I know that like in the end, it's all about love. And it will be amazing.
Yeah, well, I see Philip with the fisheye lens coming back to you.
Sticking it in your nose.
Yeah. Super close.
Great. So if we don't have any other topics, I think we could keep on talking for hours and hours. But I think in the end, I think this was a first try, a first start. I would say we should continue it.
Yeah, it would be nice to hear the feedback of the people that have been following the live. What do you think about it? If you would like to have more of that. Also, for example, who can be the judge for next time? Let us know in the comments. Or if you simply want to hear talks like that with athletes telling stories about project, past project, future project, how do they train, etc. Same, let us know in the comments. It's always feed us with ideas of new projects that we can do. And we really encourage you once again to join the tribe. You have the link in the description once again, and go there and ask us whatever questions you you want, you have, and we'll do our best to help you.
Yeah. If you need any help with slacklining, call us, go on YouTube, or just basically visit our app. It's also in the description below. If you need a place where you can slackline, or you want to find out basically where Yantarctica is, or other famous slackline spots, go on to Slackspot, which is a great little tool which has thousands of slackline locations worldwide where the community basically share their locations. You can use that to post also videos, comments, chat with each other, get information if someone is basically at that location to meet up with them. So it's also a nice, really nice tool which will help you hopefully create more communities, create young, support the young talents, because it's really fun getting them and turning them into little monsters. And we've had that in the past often enough, and it was just a lot of fun. And yeah, keep slacking, because it's not going to finish. Slacklining is not dead, tricklining is not dead, and then we are not giving up here. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
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 Bye.